Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Village Hidden with the Skreets. We are the Black Flames. My name is Bam.
I'm Dr. Griffs.
And thank you for tuning in for the next episode. Before we get into it, Dr. Griffs, how was your week? How are you doing?
I can't complain too much. I have a cut in my lip, so if I'm talking kind of funny, that's why it kind of hurts to talk. The show must go on.
Facts. And for me, same old. I recently got a new job, guys. So I'm working on establishing my schedule and getting that set up. I feel like every time I get a schedule set up and I'm like, all right, cool, the schedule's perfect, something new happens in my life that makes me have to change a whole schedule. And so I kind of go through this one week process of just like scrambling around trying to figure out how to organize myself and like get everything put together and everything like that. So last week was my first week of work, and it was just trying to, when you first start working, just trying to understand the systems and understand like what's going on, and you're kind of like being thrown all this information at once, and you're just trying to like understand everything as much as possible. So yeah, I've been trying to figure out how to. It's going to take me a little bit of time, but I'll get back to the flow of things. I found myself kind of had to slow down a little bit on my own personal channel. And so trying to get everything stabilized, because I just find that like every time I get a perfect system in place, I'm like, boom, ready to go. It's like something new comes in. Like I do appreciate it, job, money in my pocket and everything. But yeah, that's how it be. That's how it be, like, it be impacted me in terms of like, how do I figure out to get everything synced up and working well together?
The dominoes of life, huh?
Mm-hmm. And we're not talking about the pizza.
I mean, if y'all trying to sponsor us, I mean, I'm with it.
Oh, Papa John's?
I only had Papa John's in like near my school. It had like $1 a slice. I don't think I really ordered Papa John's. I don't know.
Papa John's had $1 a slice for you?
Yeah. This is like the hood in South Bronx with $1 a slice in Papa John's.
I would not trust that, yo. I would not trust
It's good for me. I mean, for $1, it was good. I mean,
I know about dollar pizza. Like dollar pizza is like a staple in New York City. But I never heard of Papa John's doing dollar pizza though.
No, it was $1. It was $1.
Yo.
But for me, well, congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. My schedules keeps switching like every 2 weeks or so I'm never really consistent with something, because sometimes I got like a DJ coming up or, life.
Mm-hmm.
I hope y'all appreciate the content that's been coming out. You know what I'm saying? Editing has been getting better, and, we've been trying different things, and, I hope you enjoyed the whole Olympic series that we chopped up over this last couple of weeks. I hope you like it. I'm talking about, I guess, in the future right now.
Yeah. Like we're talking about our future stuff that hasn't happened yet. We're like the whole Loki. You ever watch Loki with the Marvel timeline type stuff? We're kind of manipulating in terms of that realm right there. Like kind of like we're talking about things that we're going to do, but you guys will see in the past because this came out after those things. So it's like a lot of. We're in the multiverse right now. We're thinking in the multiverse.
Exactly. Speaking of Loki, how do you feel? Like, how do you like him as a villain? Do you like him? Do you dislike him? Or how do you feel about Loki?
I feel like Loki in particular is one of those characters that when he first came out in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, very one-dimensional, very like, okay, like you hate your brother. You want the throne, okay, cool. But as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as we saw him in more movies, he developed a lot more humanity to him. We saw a lot more of like why he does what he does, especially in, and not sponsored whatever, but in a Loki TV show on Disney Plus. Like you really get to dive deep into like the psychology of like what makes him do what he does, and like literally in the first couple episodes you get this whole deconstruction of how Loki sees himself. And one thing I think was interesting about Loki, now like we're going to get into that discussion as we talk about villains in this episode, is Loki mentioned something in the series. He said, no one is ever completely good or completely bad. Right? And he just like dropped it right there. You know, it's like no one's ever completely good and no one's ever completely bad. And I definitely do agree with that when talking about villains and heroes. Right? Because to be a villain is just to be the opposition to the hero. Yeah, it's the idea of like sometimes it's like everybody's kind of like the hero of their own story. You know, like Loki's the hero of his own story. Deadpool's the hero of his own story. Venom's the hero of his own story. Everyone kind of feels justified based on like how they see the world.
Okay. Frieza.
Mm-hmm.
So your thesis or Loki's thesis is everyone got some good, everyone got some bad.
Yeah.
Frieza. What is the good you see in Frieza?
What's the good I see in Frieza? Now, keep in mind, disclaimer, you know, it's like some characters are just written one-dimensionally, so it's kind of like hard to dive deep into that. Dang, I don't even know, because Frieza's the type to even like Loki kind of kill his own family, to be honest.
Well, okay. I was thinking about Frieza this whole week when we were talking about villains.
Really?
Like, I think there's levels to villains. Depending on how complex the villain is, I think it's easier to kind of like them or dislike them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Ball Z, for example, their villains were pretty. In Dragon Ball Z, the villains were pretty one-dimensional. There was Frieza, who was like a tyrant. He wanted to take over the world or over the universe and kill anybody in his way. Then there was like the androids who just we don't really care about the androids. Who have Saiyan DNA, so they just want to keep fighting and be stronger and, you know, fight and be the strongest in the universe. That was Cell, right?
Yeah.
Boo's kind of just chaos incarnate.
Yeah, it's like when you think about Dragon Ball, the villains aren't really the best. And except for, I think Cell was my favorite villain. But I think it's more due to like his personality, not necessarily due to his motivations in terms of what he wanted to do. It's like, I just want to be the world's strongest. And I'm like, okay, but do you have to obliterate the world in order to prove that you're the strongest? Like, you're just gonna do this to every world? Like, what, like, you know, what do you do after that? You know,
go to the next planet.
Yeah, just go to the next planet, prove that you're the strongest, obliterate it. It's like, well, where does it end? Like, what's the end goal of it?
Yeah, the original Broly, Kakarot made him cry. Like, Dragon Ball Z, yeah, the villains aren't the best. Yeah. They might be the strongest in anime, or some of the strongest in anime, but they aren't the best villains.
Yeah. Even like, honestly, in Dragon Ball, I think the villain that I like Cell the most, but I think the villain that made the most sense was Beerus. Because Beerus is like, his job is, I am the god of destruction. Like, this is, in order to keep balance in the universe, like on some Thanos level stuff, right? Is like, some planets just need to get blown up. It's like, you know, like, I'm a constant in the universe. I am destruction. There needs to be destruction happening. So if I visit your planet, most likely I'm going to destroy it, right? So it's like, to me, it's like Beerus. Oh, his motivation is like, I'm Mother Nature. Like, this is what's supposed to happen, and you're kind of fighting against Mother Nature, which is something that us as humans do all the time. You know, we try to fight against natural disasters. We try to fight against diseases and things that would happen to us. And so it's like, Beerus is a constant of nature. So I found that very like relatable in terms of, we're fighting against destruction itself.
So could you really classify him as a villain then?
Because what I classify as a villain is a person that's just an antagonist to the hero. That's what I classify as a villain. So it's like, like if you're, because you could classify a villain as someone that has like evil intent, right? But what I find, and this is a little bit philosophical, what I find kind of in life and like in sometimes we'll see in fiction and stuff, is that a lot of these characters have justifications behind what they're doing. A lot of it's like, I'm trying to do this for my family. I'm trying to do this to get out of a bad situation. I'm doing this due to trauma that was presented onto me, and this is just how my brain processes this trauma in this way, right? And so what I find when people do villainous stuff, it might not necessarily be because they have evil intent, but just because, you know, like if you watch like The Walking Dead, right? It's like mad people are like killing each other and taking food and stuff like that, but that's because it's a survival situation. Like I have a group of people that rely on me, and I don't know your group, and you guys might be good, decent people, but these people rely on me, you know? And so you may do something villainous to someone else. You might be antagonistic to someone else, but that doesn't mean you're evil.
So you're saying you don't have to be evil to be a villain?
You don't have to be evil to be a villain.
Okay. So who are some of your favorite villains in media? Could be anime, cartoons.
I think Madara. One, we could definitely classify Itachi as a villain. If you really think about it, for a majority.
Okay, keep going.
Madara, Itachi, Shigaraki from My Hero Academia, like
the hand guy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to dive too much into it because there's a lot of manga spoilers because it didn't reach into the anime just yet. But even I'll bring a reference to Gentle. Gentle is a character from My Hero Academia. He has the power to make things bouncy, right? And so his backstory is like this. Like he went to a hero school, flunked it, had bad grades, and kept on trying to retake the hero license test and kept failing it. One of the days that he failed and he was leaving the office after failing, somebody was falling from a building. And so he used his bouncy powers to try to make the ear that the person was going to fall towards bouncy, right? So like he basically tried to create a trampoline to stop the person from making impact with the floor, right? The person bounced on the trampoline and then bounced off and then fell on the floor and then like broke some part of his body, right? So Gentle got sued for that, right? He got sued because in My Hero Academia, you're not allowed to do any kind of hero work. No, you're not allowed to showcase your quirk unless you have a hero license, because it's basically a hero license says you have trained with your quirk, you know how to manage it well, and you know how to use it in a way that's not going to hurt anybody. And so he got sued for not having a hero license, trying to save the person with his quirk, and that put a stain on his record, and he could no longer be part of any hero organization or anything like that. So Gentle becomes this villain, this gentle criminal, and instead of like saving people, his focus is on big corporations. So like he'll take down and try to attack big corporations that he would do research on and say like, oh man, they're like doing embezzling, or they're putting these type of compounds in food and drinks and products to make people more addicted to it, and doing like underhanded kind of like legal but not really morally justified things. And so his thing would be like trying to destroy these companies, but then our main character Deku had to fight him, right? So he fought him because he was trying to break into the school and trying to deconstruct, basically put on view for everyone to see like, hey, listen, like the hero society we have here is not the most positive thing, and there's some cracks in it that we have to be aware of. And so Gentle is trying to get in there to do that. And so you see the fight between Deku and Gentle, where it literally felt like two good-hearted people fighting against each other. but they're both on different sides. So it's like only in the context of the story, because we follow Deku, he's the hero. But if we follow Gentle, we could perceive him as the hero of the story.
That is a good villain. The way you describe it, because like I feel like a good villain, you get sympathy from the people who are watching the show, reading the media, or like Killmonger, for example. As a black person in the South Bronx watching Killmonger, I see him and I see how he felt betrayed, and he's doing things to bring back resources for what's the right word?
For his people?
People. People, that look like him.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to be like, hey, Killmonger.
Yeah, it's hard because it's like when I felt the same feeling too. It was like I resonated while watching Black Panther for the first time. I resonated so much more with Killmonger than T'Challa, because even though T'Challa is a good person, like a good caring person, is at the end of the day he has an obligation to what he perceives as his people, and his people is Wakanda, while Killmonger says, yo, my people is all the people that look like me around the world. Now, I can't really justify killing your own people to meet that ends, when he killed his girlfriend and everything, like that's a little...
took out an old lady. Like, I don't agree with a lot of his actions in the movie.
Yes.
I could see myself agreeing with his philosophy.
Right.
If I look at it again, yeah.
Because, in a sense, like, would you agree that Killmonger is, like, heroic towards a subgroup of people, a subset of people?
Sure, I see him being, like, a revolutionary, like, doing whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? But I could definitely see oppressed people be like, yes. Or people, because he's from California in the movie, right? I think he's from, like, Compton or Oakland or...
something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And he's, in his head, he's doing it for those people. So I can see those people being like, yes, Team Killmonger. You know what I'm saying? I brought up Killmonger because I can see definitely the correlation or kind of similarity between him and Gentle. Because both of these people have sympathetic, like, goals, or like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not like a Frieza that's just trying to blow up a planet just cause. Killmonger, he wants to save his people. Gentle is trying to save people. You know what I'm saying? I like villains like that.
Yeah. It's like, it's hard to, because to me it's to get like a villain like Frieza, villains like Cell, villains like Boo. You just don't see that in reality. You just don't see like, it's like, you just don't see people like robbing just cause, it's like some people may rob a person and sell the thing to bring money back for like their family. They might do something villainous but for a more positive, like result, like saying like, oh man, I don't have enough money to put on the table for my family, so like let me go rob this super wealthy guy of like one of his watches. Like, he's got mad watches at his crib and everything, so let me just take his watch. He's not going to miss it. He can just buy it or use insurance or whatever, and boom, I sell that for $5,000, and then I got my family fed for like 3-4 months. So it's like there's different it's like you could do something bad, not justifying what a person does, but it's like you can sympathize with why they're doing it. Yeah,
and I think the sympathetic villain is it's done well, could be really interesting to watch, like philosophically, and look like, dang, maybe they had a point. But I also appreciate this villains that are just like villains for villain's sake.
Yeah. Like the hedonistic villains. Oh, yeah.
Arguably, the Joker is just like a villain for villains. I mean, he might be trying to prove that one bad day, anyone can end up like him. So why not just be like him? I guess that might be his version of the Joker. There's a lot of different interpretations of that character.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I think for the most part, he's just a villain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. Like, it's The Joker is a very interesting character because to watch him is enjoyable because you're just like, oh man, what is this guy going to do, right? But to actually be there, is like there's no negotiation with the Joker. You don't make a deal or reason with the Joker. It's like, I remember reading this. I remember reading this comic with the Joker in it, and for some reason, I guess the Joker got into his head that Batman was getting married to Catwoman, right? And so he basically broke into someone's house, right? Like a random person's house. He broke into a random person's house, and he was just sitting there, and the person walked in, and he was like saying, "Honey, I'm home," and like he just saw the Joker just sitting there, and he's like, the Joker is in my house right now. Like, what do I do? Like, he's freaking out. But the Joker's talking to him like mad casually, like knows his name and everything. And he starts bringing up Batman, saying like, "Yo, I can't believe that Bats is getting married and everything." And I was like, I'm so excited to like just be there and hang out with him and stuff like that, right? But like I had to come to you because Batman never gave me an invitation to his wedding. Like, how could he not give me, his best friend? Like, I'm supposed to be his best man at his wedding. How can I not? Like, I don't. So I had to come to you because I know you got an invitation to the wedding and stuff like that. So like, once you just show me that invitation in the mail and like I get the address and stuff, I'll just be on his way. So my man's thinking in his head like, I'm with the Joker right now. I just gotta do what I can to make him feel calm and at peace, whatever. So the Joker's asking him to check through his mail and everything, and he's looking through his mail to see like where's the invitation. And Joker's like, "Oh, did you find the invitation yet?" And he's like, "No, still looking for it." And like the Joker's like, "Man, it's like taking a while. Maybe it did get lost in the mail or something like that. Maybe it's supposed, because I know you're friends with Batman, right?" And he's like, yeah, I'm friends with Batman. He's like, yeah, because it'd be a shame if you weren't, because I would just feel like I wasted my time or something, right? So looking through the mail, can't find anything. There's this one letter that the Joker put there, right? And so he opens that letter and he sees a picture of his wife dead. And the Joker literally comes up behind him saying like, "Well, that's not the invitation." And then the Joker pulls out his gun, puts it in front of his head, pulls the trigger, and then like that comedy thing with like the pow thing comes out, and he's like, "I'm just kidding with you, like, you did nothing wrong to me and everything like that. So it's like, why would I kill you?" It's like, you're cool peoples, like, you're cool peoples. And it's just a
what?
Huh?
He killed that guy's wife?
Yeah, the Joker killed his wife. So the guy's just freaking out there saying like, yeah, you're good people. You invited me into your house and everything. It's just such a shame. Like, I was really looking forward to going to that wedding. And then as he's walking out the door, Joker's like, "Yeah, I really like you." Bam! Pulls out a real gun, shoots him in the head, and just leaves. So I'm like, the Joker's like well on the tension in terms of reading that comic. I was like, as a viewer, oh my gosh, like entertaining. Yeah. But to be there,
listen to that story. I was like, damn, what's gonna happen to this guy?
Yeah,
he's just a random guy,
just a random person. The Batman wasn't even getting married. Like, it's like the Joker came up with a whole thing in his head. I don't even know if he knew if it was an imagination or a fiction or whatever. That's a crazy thing about the Joker. Is like you don't know if he's clowning around or if he actually believes what he's saying. Like it almost like it's so weird because the way the writer portrayed the Joker in that comic is it's almost as if at sometimes he knows that Batman wasn't getting married and this was just all just a fantasy. And there was other times where it sounded like he actually believed it. So it was like page to page, you wouldn't even know if like he was just coming up with some random excuse just to mess with this dude, or he actually believed it. So that's the interesting thing about the Joker's character as a villain, is like you just don't know what you're gonna get with him. But it's also like, and that's what also makes the relationship between the Joker and Batman interesting, because you have the Joker who's unpredictable. Anything could happen. But then you have Batman, who's trained himself to be prepared for anything that can happen. So it's like the Joker can do anything, but Batman is one of the few people in that universe that is prepared for anything to happen.
So speaking of that, like all of today, we record like in the afternoon for, if y'all are wondering. But all of today, I've been watching like Injustice videos, like in Korean or anything like that.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the Injustice?
Like the storyline or the game?
The storyline.
Yeah.
I guess they're kind of
familiar with it. I'm familiar with it. I never read it personally, but I'm familiar with it.
Okay. Do you care if I give some spoilers?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so the Joker, he gets Scarecrow, he kills him and everything like that, and he gets his like toxic gas thing, right? He infuses kryptonite in the toxic gas. He kidnaps Lois Lane. Superman pulls up and he gets sprayed by the toxic gas, and Doomsday comes out of nowhere. So Superman is like trying to save Lois Lane, so he flies Doomsday out into outer space. Batman's like, what's going on? And then you realize the Joker was like, yo, I got tired of messing around with you. You're just so easy to mess with. So I messed around with one of your other friends. It's just so much easier. And then Batman realized, he's like, oh crap, Superman, whatever you're seeing, that's not Doomsday.
Wow. Yeah.
It was Lois Lane. He flew her all the way to space. She was pregnant with his child. And what the Joker did is he linked her heartbeat to a nuclear bomb.
What the?
Spoiler, know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, as she died, a whole nuke went off in Metropolis, and that killed, a nuke's worth of people.
Wow, you really gotta be like, because even Superman, you really think about it, like Superman is like this all-powerful dude, but he's not. I guess in some comics they describe him as like having genius level intellect, but like if you're watching the cartoons and like the movies and stuff, he just seems like he's not stupid, right? He's not like a dumb person, but he doesn't have like Batman level this.
No, he doesn't.
So like the fact that the Joker says like, man, it's like it's always fun hanging out with you bats and everything, but I need something. I need a win every now and then, and like you're just too smart.
And then the Joker and Batman are talking about like how they retaliate. Batman is like, Superman is a better person than me, and Joker is like, wow, you have a lot of hope in this guy. I think something much more interesting is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So Superman is grieving over losing his pregnant wife. You know what I'm saying? Wonder Woman pulls up. He's like, can you hold their body, take care of them? And then she was like, where are you going? Because I'm going after him. So he starts flying. The Green Lantern tries to stop him. That didn't really work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're not stopping Superman. It's like
yeah. So Batman is in the interrogation room with Joker, trying to tell him like, hey, why would you even do this? And Joker's like, well, you got kind of boring, so I mess around with your friends. And then Superman pulls in through the window and just break the whole wall.
Yeah.
Batman's like, yo, chill. And then he get over it. I don't know, man. And
which to me is a very reasonable response from Superman. It's like Batman is one of those characters that, although he's not superhuman, his constitution in terms of how he sees the world and like his value system might as well be superhuman levels, because like the levels of like the Joker you literally heard the Joker tell you that he got Superman to not just kill his wife and kid, but also a nuclear bomb that blew up Metropolis, the place that he's been protecting in his whole career. So this man's killed, I don't even know how many people in Metropolis is, but like hundreds of thousands of people, like at least. And you're out here just like asking him like, why did you do it? like Superman don't got time for that. He's like...
Exactly. And that caused the spiral for Superman. There's just that one kill, then he was like, you know what, I'm tired of this war stuff. I don't know why there's war happening. I'm tired of it. And he started bringing down dictators. He started just tearing down people left to right.
Right.
And then,
because once you bring the option to kill once you bring the option to kill someone that is against or opposed to your viewpoints in life, then that's an option now.
Yeah. And Batman tried to say it. He's like, it always just starts with just one. And he said that in a different movie. I think it was like when the movie The Red Hood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When the Red Hood, or Jason Todd, right?
Jason Todd, yes.
Jason Todd was like, yo, why didn't you take out a Joker? I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the Kingpin. I'm not talking about Riddler or Mr. Freeze, just him. And he was like, I've always wanted to, but, you know, I don't know, man. Yeah. There was a interpretation of what would have happened if Batman did kill the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in the Injustice storyline, there was like an episode, or I guess a comic that said like what happened if Lois didn't die there.
Okay. If
Lois didn't die, the nuke almost went off, and Joker's like, okay, so Superman's about to take down the Joker. Batman is like, yo, go hang out with Lois, make sure she's okay. I'll take care of him. I promise you, he'll never hurt you again. You know what I'm saying? So in the Batmobile, they're driving. Joker's making jokes. He's like, hey, why are you so silent? Come on, man. You know, you're going to bring me back to the Arkham Asylum. Now I'm going to break out. Then I'm going to go mess around with him and his kids again, or anything like that. And then you arrest me again, and it will all be good. And then, you know, Batman broke his neck. And then he drove himself to the police precinct, took his mask off. He said, I got to report a murder. And there was Joker in his car. And then you see Superman, like, raise his kid and all that stuff start flying around. Man eventually visits Batman, like, yo, why did you do it? It's like, I could break you out anytime. And Batman's like, I committed the crime. I got to do the time. So
I'm like, but, like, what police station is going to be like, yeah, you did kill the Joker, man. Yeah, you do have to do something. Like, come on, bro. Like you see what does that do?
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Is that like it's that absoluteness about it? Is that like, it's like, I believe that murder, like, it's like Batman's like, I believe that murder in any context is the wildest thing. And maybe it's because it's probably due to like his trauma of like he couldn't even fathom, like he became a boy that like, I'm gonna call myself Batman, like from his parents dying from that situation, right? So it's like the idea of like coping with the death of somebody, or like being the cause of someone's death. I think that's something that like he doesn't even know how to like properly fathom that and keep himself feeling like he's a good person, you know?
Yeah.
Even though in some iterations it's like, it definitely do seem like Batman, he might not like directly kill somebody, but it's like the way you kick that person in the chest, I don't know if they get it up, you know?
Like every single arm, bone, and everything like that.
Yeah.
Have you watched any of the Fist of the North Star?
I've only seen clips, but you can hit me with it.
Oh, Fist of the North Star takes place in a post-apocalyptic world. You know what I'm saying? There's been like nukes that went off and everything like that. Some people are huge, I guess because of radiation. They never really specify whether people are huge and some people are small, but there's a lot of huge people. It's like, have you seen Mad Max?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It's kind of inspired by like Mad Max.
Oh, okay.
I bring up Fist of the North Star because Kenshiro, the protagonist, is not like Batman. You know what I'm saying? He's a good guy.
That's the Umayu Nin Shinderu. Nani? It's like,
you're already dead.
Yeah.
That guy. So there's countless videos. Kenshiro just killing thugs.
Mm-hmm.
In the most gruesome of ways. He has humor with it. But you know, they kind of got a guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
whereas like Batman, who says like, you know, I can't kill anybody, Kenshiro was like, this guy is stealing your food. He gotta go. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of appreciate his way of justice a little bit more than, you know, Batman's way of justice.
Yeah. But like, do you think that's what brings up to my idea of like the whole idea of like, it's villainy and heroism is kind of fluid when you really think about it, because if we say, like, if society says murder is wrong, right? If we put wrong in the category of villainy, but then we also have exceptions to the rule. We also create, like, oh, if you murder this person, that's not being villainous, right? So it kind of creates this flexibility to, is the act of doing this thing make you a villain? Or is there certain contexts that you can, like, dive into and change up, right? Like, what if, I think it's also the idea that, like, killing somebody is so definitive, is like there's no redemption after like death, in terms of, like, you know, like a person like learning from their mistakes and becoming a better person, stuff like that, right? Because like Loki was a villain, right? He is a villain, but at many times, because he cares about his brother, he'll kind of like put himself in a situation where he becomes heroic. He's like, yo, it's like my brother's life is on the line. All right, because I think in the movies, because Thor and Loki are like god level people, is like when we see Loki do villainous stuff to Thor, he's like, he'll be fine. I only threw him in a tornado. He'll be fine. You know, it's like the level of, it's kind of like you kind of like messing with your brother or messing with your friend, and like, say for example, like you give them like a little punch on the chest, like Loki like shooting like a missile or a cannon or something like that, a bazooka at Thor, that's like a little punch in the chest. He's like, we just messing around. So it's like, to us, we can look at what Loki's doing as like mad villainous, and like he definitely is okay with like killing certain people. But from the like, it's weird when I think about Loki, because although he does kill people, it's like, if you think about it from Loki's perspective, these people aren't really people, because he's a god. He lives in a society where all of his friends and people he's known and associated with is gods, and so everyone's so beneath them in a sense, in terms of like what they're capable of doing, in terms of lifespan, in terms of intelligence, in terms of everything else. Is like Loki and Asgardians are superior to everyone else. So it's like a couple human lives to Loki is kind of like.
Have you to that point? Have you seen Hunter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When Meryl M. Someone talked to Meryl M. like, "Oh, why are you doing this?" And he was like, "Do you think about when you slaughter the calves?" That's how I think of you. So you think Loki's kind of like that?
Yes. And when you think about it, it's like, it's crazy to think about it, but it's like, it's calm. It's like, if you put yourself in the character, in the life of that person, it's calm, because we do that all the time. As like humans, is like we look at an ant, we stepped on it, oh, we don't even say my bad, we just keep it moving, right? Like other animal species, if they have like language and stuff, will be like, yo, the greatest threat to the existence of the planet is humanity. These are a race of villains. Look at them destroying trees. Look at them destroying our environment. Look at them burning up the ozone layer. Look at them enslaving our people and feasting on us. It's like, if animals could speak, they would not be saying really kind. Maybe dogs. You know, dogs would probably be cool. Be like, no, he was lit. You know, I'm lit.
Dog would say that, yeah.
Yeah, but like, I don't know cows. I don't know. Maybe you just didn't find the right human, because humans means kind of lit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. Yeah. We're definitely going to the world. This whole episode kind of like.
yeah.
But I was thinking about the other day, like, humans have such crazy capacity of growth,
mm-hmm.
and like technological growth. Like, when I was a child, I had a PlayStation 1.
Yes.
We're on the PS5 now.
And the graphics. Remember the PS1? You'd be like, oh my gosh, these graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just one area of technology that the humans have expanded so far on. It's hot to have a fan. 200 years ago, 300 years ago, there wasn't a device like this.
This was your
this is a basic fan. You know what I'm saying? You might have to, you know what I'm saying, like get the paper and everything like that. The human capacity of growth is just crazy.
Yeah.
We're talking about 2 other cities.
True.
But we also decided to make nuclear bombs and dynamite, and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's and that too, like I think about war. When I think about villainy and stuff, I think about people going to war with each other, right? And no matter how you look at it, each side finds a way to convince themselves that they are on the righteous side, that they are the ones that are the heroes and they're the villains. You know, it's like, not to get political, but like when America goes to war with other countries, they'll be like, they always find some way of convincing the general public that we are doing the right thing. Like, this is a justifiable war. This is important for democracy and for freedom and for what we believe in. And so we end up convincing the general public that we're the heroes, they're the villains, right? But if you go to a different country that's at war with America, they'll do the same exact thing. They're fighting against what we believe in. They're trying to destroy our morals and what we value our life on. They're trying to destroy our culture. And so America's the villains and we're the heroes. So that's why the whole idea of like villains and heroes is like, it's very malleable depending on what side you're on, you know, because based on the story, you can watch a story where you have a person come up and they kind of are against the status quo of society, but the status quo of society seems to be beneficial to most people, right? And so that person comes up and tries to destroy everything, and then you have your hero come through and beat that person, right? And so we have the hero, but then we could have another story where the status quo society is kind of not so good for most people. Like, people are living in poverty, people are getting their money stolen from them and things like that. And so you have a hero come up that's against the status quo society. But to the status quo society, that hero is a villain. Yeah.
Villain, Joe.
Yeah. What's your favorite villain, by the way?
My favorite villain. Like, so there's levels to it. I think there's different aspects about villains that I like. The Major from Hellsing Ultimate. Have you seen Hellsing Ultimate?
Yes. The Major is the villain.
He had like this epic speech and everything.
Yeah.
The Ultimate said that I like war. My friends, I love war. Like, he is a good villain in the sense of like, yo, he's really just doing it. Yeah. And there's no redeeming qualities about this guy. Like, he's obviously intellectual.
Like, you say he's a pure villain, like pure.
Yeah, he's just a pure villain. Well, yeah, I mean, he likes war. He likes see people get killed. I mean, there's nothing.
It's like there's a level of like, you get it, because even like there's like two versions of a villain, right? That like I tend to like the one that has, based on their life experience and what they're trying to do, you can get their reasoning behind it, right? Like, to me, Thanos is one of those villains that you can kind of get his reasoning behind it, right? And then you have a villain that is just, I like to hurt people, and it's like, it's weirdly relatable, not in the fact that you as an individual likes to hurt people as well, but because you get what it is to just like something, but not to look for a reason why you like it. Like, I like jerk chicken. Do I need a reason? Do I need to explain myself why I like jerk chicken? Right? So you can relate to a person that says, I like this, because you have likes as well. You don't think about your likes, you just like these things. So if a person says, I just like to hurt people, that's like a pure villain, because it's just like something in them just says, whenever you hurt people, you get a dopamine release that makes you feel good.
Yeah, and like this doesn't always have to be that deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thanos trying to half the people, so there's double the resources and everything like that.
Yeah,
like that's a deep philosophical point and everything. But sometimes you just want to see a lunatic, for lack of a better term, just out there.
Yeah, that's true.
And in that regard, that's why the Major is probably one of my favorite villains. In terms of villains that I kind of side with, I thought that'd be an interesting question. Before I get that, why do you say Itachi is a villain? Hold up. I ain't gonna just forget about that. Why do I say Itachi is a villain?
Bro, because if you look at it, it's like, if you look at Itachi, it's like for all of Naruto, he was the villain, right? We only know that he's not a villain because we know his intentions, but Itachi did kill his whole people. He killed his whole family. That could be very villainous. That could be very villain. You saying killing your own family would not classify as a villainous act?
That was the way you phrased that. Yes.
I couldn't even when I phrased that. That's exactly what happened.
You skip over some details back like that. You know, when I see Itachi the first time, I knew there was something off about that guy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, I don't believe it. Since day one. I can't prove it in this video, but since day one, when he pulled up to the village and with the hat and everything, I'm like, nah, he ain't no villain.
So from day one, from frame one, you looked at this guy like, nah. There's something like double agency about him.
I didn't know the truth. I didn't feel that way about Kisame, but I looked at Itachi, I was like, nah, that ain't it. Because
there's a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people that will be like, if it is the world or the greater community or my family, a lot of people would understand picking your family over community and stuff like that, right? So I think it's just based on perception, right, or perspective. It's like, I wouldn't kill my family for the greater good. I don't know if it's a strength for it or the mindset to do that, but it's just like, because to me, I would feel like my family and the people closest to me is the greater good. Like, if the greater good does not benefit my family or the people closest to me, then is that really the greater good?
That's what you're saying, but I feel like his family was doomed with both sides. You know what I'm saying?
Break that down.
Either he kills his family, or his family goes to war with the Leaf, meaning they're probably going to die, and to Sasuke. You know what I'm saying? Plus, a lot more casualties of war. Other Leaf people, other people who joined the war that try to jump the Leaf. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so what you're saying is that Itachi saw that, okay, it's either I kill my family in the most merciful way possible, or my family is going to die anyway with more casualties.
And Sasuke.
Okay, so you're saying that he did. So you would perceive that as like him doing the lesser of two evils? Like, it was like.
Sure. But his family was down regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this way, I think Shisui said, protect the Uchiha name or something before he died. Or protect the Uchiha. You know what I'm saying? And the way they died or was killed by Itachi, they were protected in the honor of the Uchiha. They're known as like one of the best of village clans and everything like that versus
right.
Insurrectionists that try to take over the capital. Oh, that's a capital building? They try to take over
crossing realities, guys. Crossing realities.
They try to take over the Leaf. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He protected the name. And I guess Sasuke was the only kid. They didn't show any other children of Uchiha.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
he was the only kid. Unless there's like Uchihas that are like international that like went abroad or something. But he's the only Uchiha. And we also said that in Boruto, like I think we would hear about other Uchihas and like across the world if you have Sasuke just literally spent years just traveling the world and stuff, you know?
Okay, I wasn't sure if Itachi killed any children that day. Know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty like if the only way he didn't kill any children is if Sasuke was the only kid.
Okay.
Yeah, because it like, which to me would be unlikely, but if Sasuke was the only kid. But even when he was like undercover in the Akatsuki, like he also had a hand to play in, you know, the Akatsuki's evil activities. You know, like he did help to kidnap Jinchurikis and do all that, and like help to, like his actions helped push Pain's agenda, you know, and Pain came through and like killed a lot of people. You know, he killed Jiraiya, you know. So I'm not saying that Itachi directly caused that, but Itachi was helping a villainous organization, and the villainous organization is going to do villainous stuff. You know what I mean?
I would say Itachi kind of stalled them as long as possible.
How?
How did he stall them?
Yeah, like what? Like how did he stall them?
Well, first off, he knocked on Naruto's door.
Right. He could have sold Naruto. Right. Yeah, he could have taken it.
And if he found I think it's not even a strong argument. That could take Jiraiya to take out Naruto. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Because Itachi's a ninja, like he could have just kidnapped Naruto without alerting to him, but he like knock.
He made sure Asuma, Kurone, Kakashi, Guy knew that he was in the area. You know what I'm saying? So they're already looking out for reinforcements, nothing like that. He stopped at a tea house and made himself known. So Kakashi was like, called Sasuke over. Then those two people disappeared. Like Itachi did a lot of things to stall the whole process.
I feel like one can argue that you're reading a little bit into it, but it's quite possible that Itachi just walking around being like looking cool to the village was him being like, "Hey niggas, I'm here."
Where's the Like even if you look at the fight, when Itachi was like, "Oh, I don't think we both could take Jiraiya." Know what I'm saying? Jiraiya stared directly into Itachi's eyes. He told him he couldn't hit him with no type of finger genjutsu, no type of Tsukuyomi real quick.
True.
But Itachi was just like, you know what? They know of an organization that wears these weird clothes that are targeting Naruto. Why are they targeting Naruto? Oh, they're targeting Jinchuriki. Okay, we should watch our Jinchuriki in other countries as well. Know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, maybe you could break this down to me, because I'll concede that to you. Like, why, when we first meet Itachi, first see him, why did he have to go with that genjutsu he did to Kakashi? Why did he have to go that hard with it?
Okay. Well,
for those of you guys that don't remember the genjutsu or don't know what we're talking about, so Itachi put Kakashi in a genjutsu for 36 hours. He was just stabbing him. For 36 hours, he constantly just kept stabbing Kakashi for like, and it happened all in a split second, but Kakashi felt 36 hours of him just being stabbed while being like tied up to a pole or something, constantly by Itachi. I don't know why Itachi, if Itachi was a good dude, and like also Kakashi was your mentor too, so it's like to be a good dude, or like I feel like Kakashi could keep a secret, so it's like why couldn't you use that 36 hours to be like, hey, listen, this is what I got going on, but instead you're like stab.
Okay, yeah. Why did he do that in the 36 hours to Kakashi? That's a separate argument. I think one could argue that he was trying to show Kakashi the upper limits of the Sharingan. Oh. Because he knew that Madara was still alive, and Madara was the Uchiha king. So Itachi with his upper level Sharingan could do this. Yeah. I mean, people who have similar Sharingan could do this or even worse. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You can't just say, hey, yo, I got a stronger eye than you. You gotta have them actually experience it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It kind of forced Kakashi to go back to the drawing board and start studying, and not say studying more, practicing and training more, because that Jonin level ain't going to cut it with these people. That's one argument you can make.
That's the one argument. So you're basically saying like, Itachi was like, "Hey, let me teach you something."
Yeah, I mean they trained the ninja. Know what I'm saying? And Kakashi got humbled right there. He's like, "Yo, I used to be, Kakashi the Sharingan that does 1,000 jutsus, and he come across a real Sharingan user. He's like, thanks. There's levels to this. Know what I'm saying?
Oh man, I guess that's one interpretation of what happened there in terms of Itachi. So for you, Itachi's a full hero.
Yeah, he did what he had to do. Like, he was put in an impossible circumstance. He was also like 14.
Yeah,
and had the mind of like a 40-year-old, 45-year-old. He was a pacifist. He woke, like, when he was 4, he was on the battlefield and saw war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He wasn't uberly nationalistic, saying, "Yeah, I ride for you, Chihaka." He's like, "No, there's fault here." You know what I'm saying? He just did what he had to do. And he didn't kill Kakashi.
No.
He was able to kill me. He could have hit him with the Amaterasu, but he didn't.
That's a fact. Yes. He could have hit him with the Amaterasu. He could have hit him with those black flames for sure.
And with Tsukiyomi, he could have killed him if he wanted to, but he didn't. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't thinking about all that when he was doing all that. You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking.
He chose his path that he thought, because you know what I'm saying? He had to get Kakashi to be stronger.
Yeah.
He had to go all the Jonin. Those were the top Jonin at the time. There was Guy, Kakashi, Kurene, Asuma. He had to show y'all, like, yo, y'all, this strength ain't gonna cut it. Got to a Katsuki member. Kurene, you've never seen her again after that.
True. Yeah.
Kakashi and Guy both trained after that. No way, they got stronger.
Alright. Okay. So I'll hit you with this last question, right?
You can be as many questions as you want about Itachi. I got you.
No, don't worry, Itachi. I think you defended your boy. What makes a show? The hero or the villain?
I think typically the hero of the show kind of like gives you characteristics of like, yo, I want that type of trait. It's their willpower, their strength, their smarts. I think the villain of the show makes the show more memorable.
Yeah.
Because it pushes the hero to keep getting stronger, keep getting smarter, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because I feel like through the villain, you see either as a villain as like a pure villain that's just like, I'm bad just for bad sake, or I'm a villain because of circumstances. Through the villain, you see what's wrong with, I guess, the story. You kind of see, like, through the villain, I feel like you learn more about the world than through kind of the hero at times. Like, through the hero, I think it's kind of like fun to like follow their journey, see them get stronger, see them like overcome conflict and come into their powers. But I think the villain is what is kind of like, I think a lot of the story in terms of like why the villain's like this, or like why they're doing this, and like I think a lot of the story is built around the villain, and the hero is kind of like the opposition towards what the villain's doing. But I think I feel like I learn a lot more about the world and the story through the villain than necessarily through the hero.
I mean, Black Panther is a perfect example. Wakanda is where the hero lives. Kilmonger, he lives where everyone else actually lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah, man, let us know. Let us know in the comment section down below, guys. What do you guys think about the whole idea of like villains or heroes? Are your favorite characters more heroes or are they more villains? You know? I'm getting a call.
Well, thanks for tuning in this episode, y'all.
Yeah.
And I hope you like the Olympic episodes. We haven't finished editing those yet, so that's why I'm kind of like, But yeah, we hope you would like that stuff. And let us know if you want more tier guides and everything like that, and we'll go from there.
Yep, back. So remember, guys, to like the video if you liked it. Comment down below if you have any thoughts you want to share with us, and subscribe if you want to see more of our good-looking faces.
Oh, wow, thank you. I tried.
Yes. So anyway, guys, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.